Welcome to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Today, we'll show you how to use the spirit of love and self-worth to improve the connections with everyone else in your life. This program is your weekly gift, and it will keep on giving. You'll see. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish.
Greetings and a hearty welcome, everyone. I hope you're all faring well. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you from the Voice America Empowerment Channel, shining love light into your hearts and homes to empower and inspire you to create a life you love. And many thanks to our worldwide listeners who tune in live and on demand. We hope you find our shows inspirational, enlightening, and self-empowering. And we have a fantastic show today with Lynda Dyer joining us from Australia. And this is the second in our episode following Healing Your Immune System for Wellness. And today's show is Turning Our Immune System Around. As quoted by Thich Nhat Hanh, keeping your body healthy is an expression of gratitude to the whole cosmos, the trees, the clouds, and everything. And as Buddha quotes, to keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. More so, loving and caring for ourselves is our personal responsibility and priority to sustain overall well-being and to live fully and enjoy our lives. But it takes knowledge, awareness, practice, and to be an active participant in our own healing journey. And our guest today, our fantastic and outstanding guest, Lynda Dyer, again joining us from Australia, is a living testament to what is possible, healing herself from the debilitating disease of lupus. A master healer, #1 award-winning international best-selling author of many books, including Life After Lupus, Healing Your Immune System Naturally. Lynda is a certified neuro-linguistic programmer, certified NLP trainer, transformational coach, trainer of matrix therapists, registered member of NLPAA, and TEDx speaker. Happiness is a choice. And Lynda was one of 58 people filmed for the Secret movie because she applies her materials to her own life with miraculous results. And we recommend listeners to adhere to your medically prescribed treatment regimen as you gain new knowledge and understanding to support your healing journey. So now I am honored to welcome our outstanding guest on our show today, Turning Our Immune System Around. And Lynda, thank you so much for joining us in this second segment pertaining to the immune system and taking control of our health. We're so pleased to have you on our show today.
Oh, thank you, Jean. It's an absolute honour. And it's bright and early in a gorgeous morning in Queensland, Australia.
Well, wonderful. And thank you so much again for being such a delightful guest and educating us on how we can stand in our own power and take control of our health. So, Lynda, this first segment is going to be about the immune system and why does it break down. But tell us what inspired you to write your popular book called Life After Lupus, Healing Your Immune System.
I think it came to me that I had taken not only the journey of going through lupus, but I decided one day that, and I think that's the key for a lot of people out there, that there is a time where you have to make a decision that to turn it around. Whatever it is that you have, that we are in control of us and we have the universal help and encouragement. All we've got to do is grab it and we can turn anything around. All we need to do is know how. So if I could do it myself and if I could be the clinical study that people require and prove that we can actually do that, then by writing about it, I can help thousands and thousands of other people do the same. So that was the inspiration.
And your book is fantastic. And Lynda, I know you are a living testament of your healing journey. Do you have a story to tell or about your early experiences and what led to your ill health?
Oh, sure. Well, being one of 7, I lived on a farm. And, of course, there were chemicals galore. My parents were very ignorant about the effects of chemicals going into our system. And all they could see was that it was a very healthy environment because of the oranges and the peaches. And then we grew everything. We grew beans, what we used to call them backbreakers, because you had to bend over to pick them. We grew our own tomatoes, our own corn, our own strawberries, because there were 9 of us in the family. That was a lot of mouths to feed. And for mum and dad, being able to go up and get eggs from the chickens and fresh food from the farm seemed like a healthier, cheaper option for them to raise 7 children plus themselves. And my dad wasn't a farmer, so he was a carpenter, and he went to work every day. So we were the employees.
Yes.
We had to pick 8 cases of fruit before I could go and play representative tennis. That was what we had to do. So it was no big deal. You just did it. But I chose the ones near the chook shed because they were bigger. And of course, when the peaches came out, we just loved it. There weren't many that went to market because 7 kids had already eaten half of them.
Indeed.
So it was a case of wondering if I was raised in that environment, how on earth did I become then unwell? But things happened on the farm that I took notice of. And one was that I got this rash in my elbow, the inner elbow. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Well, that was from the chemicals off the peaches. When we were packing the peaches into cases and sending them off to market, all those chemicals would sit and we would start getting rashes on the inside. Well, as I said, Mum and Dad were very ignorant of that was damaging us. Our youngest brother couldn't leave the house. He was so allergic to the chemicals, the blossoms, everything that was out, even the grass, everything that was outside the house. And you've got to remember that depending on how many children are in the family, the children who are born last only get whatever the mother has left.
Yes.
Okay. So if mum hasn't got many minerals and nutrition left because she's already had 5 or 6 kids, then those younger kids come out with not a very good immune system. The sad thing today is that many kids are born with an autoimmune problem because the parents aren't well. We're not eating what we could possibly eat. We're not washing our fruit like we should. We're not and the takeaway food, there's 3,000 chemicals in takeaway food. How many times do we go and get takeaway food thinking we're treating our family?
Yes, that is so true.
There was a lady that wrote a book many years ago, and it was called Children of a Toxic Harvest. And she was the one that recognised the chemicals that they were spraying all over the farm. Her husband would come in with rashes around his ankle. Her children were ADHD. She came to Sydney, but they'd just sprayed her house with chemicals for cockroaches. And, of course, that takes 7 years to gas off. Look, everything we do, there's so many stories. In the country, there was a place I went to and all these whole family came to me one at a time, and I said, when did you all move into a new house? They said, how did you know we moved into a new house? I said, you've all got the same problem. It's called sick building syndrome.
Yes.
You've got a new house. You've got all the chemicals coming out of the woodwork. I bet you sprayed the lounge to stop it from staining. You sprayed your carpet to stop it from staining, and you're killing yourselves with the toxic fumes that are coming off the paints, the carpet cleaners, the lounge oils. I said, go and open the whole place and get out of there.
Yes. And Lynda, it's just amazing how we're exposed to so much without being aware. And again, you're going to talk a little bit about signs, and as you indicated, getting those rashes
Mm.
and continuing to do your job without realizing, something's wrong here with the toxic chemicals. And as you talked about your family and the farm and preparing the fruits, during that time, people really weren't aware of all the toxicity in preparation for, your vegetables or whatever you're harvesting on your farm.
Mm. No, there was so much ignorance around, and some of the chemicals that were banned overseas were not banned in Australia. So it was like being down under meant that we were the last ones to get the message.
Yes.
In another way, we've become quite alternative quite quickly and are improving a lot of things because of the beautiful weather. But at the same time, there was a lot of ignorance, absolute ignorance. Now, I think there's still ignorance, but I also think there's a knowledge that's there now, but there's also a laziness that goes with preparing the right sorts of foods and being chemical free. Like, I just looked at all the things in my kitchen and laundry when I started learning about this, and I eliminated anything with an E in it, which is an ethoxylate, which actually is like Agent Orange, which is what they used in the Vietnam War. Yeah. So, they say, no, it's not dangerous in the small amounts that are in those products. Well, hang on a sec. If we're washing our baby or washing our kitchen or washing our something every single day, don't you think it's going to build up? And why then are we then getting kidney problems down the track from this build-up of chemicals? So I chose to go a natural path and eliminate anything with an E in it, an ethoxylate, from the bathroom, from the kitchen, from the laundry. And now I don't get rashes. I'm not scratching my skin like I used to. It's the liver will give you a rash or a headache. They're two signs right there. So if the liver's not happy, you're going to get like eczema and dermatitis in our day, and asthma. There was like one child in 100. Now there's one in about 4. Well, why? That all comes from a weakening immune system. And as I said, the liver will throw out a rash or a headache. And they're sort of like signs that your system's not doing well. The problem is that if we don't get control of that eczema on that baby, then the same gene will give you asthma and will also in later life give you arthritis. So we want to deal with that yes, it could be inherited, but hang on a sec, 80-20 rule, we need to adhere to that. Only 20% of what is handed to you is relevant. 80% is what you do about it.
Yes.
So 80% is you learning to change what you're exposed to and what you're prepared to have around you and what you're prepared to put your children into and have them put on their skin and on their washing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so important. And I really appreciate you sharing that, because even the mixing with other chemicals and what we're exposed to, and just think about in some environments, being enclosed in our apartments or whatever, you're not open to a lot of fresh air. So all of those chemicals are just being mixed and internalized into your system that can cause, as you indicated, a lot of debilitating conditions.
And then when the parent gets an autoimmune disease, and they may be unaware of it, they may just feel like they're a bit less energy or what have you, or they've got a runny eyes. Watery eyes is a great indicator of an autoimmune problem. They call it dry eyes, but the means are actually watery, and they get itchy. Things like that. It's like my son had 12 bottles of antibiotics in the first 12 months of his life. He was so autoimmune deficient because I didn't know at the time I had lupus. And I gave birth to him. Well, I could only give him what I had. So in the end, I turned around to the doctor when he was handing him another script, and I said, how on earth can you write another script? He's actually allergic to your medicine. There has to be an alternative. And that's when I went alternative for me and my son.
Yes, and I think for our listeners, you have to really be aware and take advantage of the information that's being shared, and you can make a choice and even, ask pertinent questions to your physicians, treating physicians and healthcare providers, so that you can get a better understanding of, what's being prescribed or what are the side effects, and then look at, ways to naturally heal yourself, which is why Lynda is here on our show today. And I think, Lynda, we're ready for a brief commercial break. We can't wait to get back to more on our show today on this outstanding discussion, turning our immune system around, with Lynda Dyer. She's really a fantastic a person, a certified neuro-linguistic programmer, master healer, certified NLP neuro-linguistic programmer, transformational coach, trainer of matrix therapists. And she's here on our show today, turning our immune system around. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today. Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book, We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another, an anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're all in this together. Embrace One Another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today. Best-selling Authors International news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's Jean Marie Farish-consciousloving.com, or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Welcome back to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love. And if you're just joining us, we are with our outstanding guest today, Lynda Dyer, joining us from Australia on our show, turning our immune system around. And Lynda is a certified neuro-linguistic programmer, She's a certified NLP trainer, transformational coach, trainer of matrix therapists, registered in LPAA, TEDx speaker. Happiness is a choice. And we are so excited for Lynda to be here today. We're going to talk more about the immune system. So, Lynda, can you just briefly highlight the role and function of the immune system, just to revisit that topic? We know we have a previous episode that listeners can tune in, but just highlight it briefly, the role and function of the immune system.
I think one of the biggest things are the glands that you have in your throat and in your groin, those lymph nodes. If you have a look, and on the slideshows I used to show, they actually look like soldiers lining up. And yeah, so when you're unwell, you should get great big swollen lymph nodes. And if you don't, then you're really sick because, those soldiers have died. So we need to understand that the B cells and the T cells, and find out how they're going in your bloodstream. Because what happens is something comes into your body, and your body will start, the macrophages will start to eat it, what we call eat it. And that's what it does. And it makes, so they're the white blood cells. But as we get unwell, we get less and less of those white blood cells. And so what the white blood cells start doing is eating good cells as well, because it's so exhausted. It just eats anything. And so there's an expression when you have an autoimmune disease, and that is your body's eating itself.
Interesting.
I know, it sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? So, and that's true. So what we need to do is stop. We need to actually stop. Well, of course, that's not possible for a lot of people who don't think it's possible, like me.
Yes. And Lynda, this brings us to being out of balance with excessive activities. And I know you did so much in terms of earning degrees in short lengths of time and pushing yourself with lots of projects that you were involved in, and then your system failed. So can you just highlight what, talk about being out of balance and how that impacts our well-being?
So everybody I coach that has an autoimmune disease, there's a similar line that runs through it, and that is hyperactivity. I think I would have been given Ritalin in the days I was born. Had it been around, I wouldn't have taken it, but I think that would have been a suggestion, because I just loved life and wanted to be in it. And I studied, I did 4 jobs to get myself to go to university in America. I put myself through university. I hitchhiked across the Canadian Rockies twice in 2 different seasons to get my degrees completed in Canada. It was minus 35, but nothing stopped me. All I see at the end of the rainbow is a goal that I need to get. And, hitchhiking across the Canadian Rockies wasn't going to stop me finishing my degree. So I just did that. And that's the sort of thing that, a lot of people become quite hyper, and then you've got these, what can I say? They're sort of like an indicator from the universe that you're not traveling well, and you might be getting a cramp, or you might be getting lethargic, or you might be getting, but you're told to push through it. And that's what I did. And then I, at the end, I've always wanted to do a trip through Africa. So I came home on a 3-month safari that turned out to be a 6-month safari through Africa, just to finish my body off completely. Yes. And then I came home completely ill. And so then I'm out of balance completely with my body, because I've literally worn myself out. Mm-hmm. And how many of you, the listeners, I'm talking to you, how many of you wear yourselves out? And the underlying thing behind that is usually an emotion. And the emotion is or a limiting belief of I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve. Right? Because deep down in our psyche, we don't feel like we cut the mustard, like that we're as good as that person. We were comparing ourselves with others. And so we do X amount of work here and Y amount of work there, just to prove to other people that we can be somebody.
Yes. And I'm glad you're talking about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're wearing ourselves out. And to the point where when I start my book, I'm telling you that I'm in the bottom of the shower. I've got my hair in my hands. Now, that's a mineral deficiency right there. If your hair is falling out, it's a mineral problem. And there's a lot of ladies out there whose hair is falling out and they're ignoring it. ladies, it's a mineral deficiency. Everyone gets stuck into vitamin C and these other things, but minerals are the key, especially magnesium. So minerals are the key to us healing. And I had to learn that the hard way. So here I am in the bottom of the shower. I couldn't get out of the shower. Now I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I'm a soccer coach, I'm a mother, I'm working for the school voluntarily, and I've got 2 jobs. So how on earth am I going to stay in the shower? Well, I can't. So, but that's what I mean. We put this pressure on, but you've got to understand that the immune system, you've got what you've got when you're born. And today, a lot of late onset diabetes is happening to babies and to children. It should be happening to 70 and 80-year-olds. But it's already happening because our immune system isn't good when we're born. So imagine taking that and then being hyperactive and then doing this and doing that and wearing ourselves out. Or everything peaks at 25. Everything. So your muscles, your bones, everything peaks at 25. A government in their own right should be paying people like us in the fitness and the personal development industry to keep people at that peak for a while. Let them go along and enjoy life at that level, rather than what happens at 25 is because of our ignorance, we start to decline. We start to get asthma, we start to get bronchitis, we start to get osteoporosis. We're given drugs, and the side effect of those drugs gives us more stuff, etc. And we have a slow death to 75, 80. Rather than if we peaked and stayed on that really gorgeous level, I mean, yes, we're going to cark it, but at the end of the day, we're going to have a great journey. And it's going to be a wellness journey rather than a sickness journey that the government's going to have to pay for, because you're in and out of hospital, you're in and out of medical care, you're in and out of someone else is trying to look after you because you're not in charge of you anymore. You're completely out of balance. So this is the time for you to stop.
Yes. And Lynda, we can use food, alcohol, work, etc. to keep it suppressed, thus making it worse. So you talk about letting go is the key, because it's like we try to cover it up with something else. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. So, I realized at a very young age that alcohol didn't suit me. 1 in 20 people have an allergy to alcohol. 1 in 20. So, but how many of them ignore that because it's something to do with peer group pressure? Everyone in America when I was studying was smoking Marlboro cigarettes. So I thought, well, I'll join them. What a stupid thing to do. Yes. Absolutely stupid. I didn't stay with it long, and I didn't smoke very many, but it was like that peer group pressure of, yeah, I'll come to the pub with you. Yeah, I'll smoke a cigarette. Rather than, no, that doesn't seem right for my body. My body doesn't act right after I do those things. That peer group pressure, remember I said that's about everyone else. If everyone else thinks I'm amazing, then I'm going to feel amazing. We should get to the point where we just feel amazing. The universe wants you to be the absolute best you can be. So we don't need other people to tell us.
And that's so true. So many times we're trying to fit in, or because we feel unworthy, not good enough, we sustain those behaviors that are not aligned with our best interests. So I think as Lynda talked to our listeners out there, we can take some small steps. And the beauty of it is that if you feel better, you want to feel better. So continue to do what makes you feel good instead of, continue to do those things that make you feel bad and promote unhealthiness and ill health. And Lynda, you really do a great job talking about the emotion of fear and how that's stored in the body and how that causes illness. Can you really talk about fear and how do we release unwanted negative emotions? Because we've talked about the physical aspect. Let's look at the emotional and mental aspects, including those emotions.
We've got to remember that negative emotions and limiting beliefs, which is what I clear every day, all day, they are acidic. So one of the things that we need to get our bodies to in order to find wellness and balance is pH high or alkalinity. You see, we're supposed to be born with an alkaline system. However, most babies are born today with acid, and that's why they have eczema and dermatitis. What do you think that is? It's acid coming out on the skin. So we need to alkaline the body, and it takes 20 parts of alkaline to digest 1 part of acid. It's not an easy system, but negative emotions are acidity. And so by carrying fear, by carrying anger, by carrying sadness, by carrying grief, by carrying all those feelings that you conjured up during your life and possibly were ignorant of it, that came from your parents, came from incidences, came from a school teacher, came from just experiences that you had during your life, and you chose to hang on to them. When you choose to hang on to them, you are building up an acidic level of negative emotion in your body, and that's going to affect certain areas. So let's have a look at that. Yes. From the heart up is anger. So if you're getting sore shoulders, sore throats, sore necks, headaches, then where in your life have you not let go or forgiven somebody so that you can release the anger? Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't be angry. Some things do disturb us, but let's be angry from now rather than from way back 5,000 years ago when, it came into our system and we chose, because we're in control of us, we chose to hang on to it. And it festered. It's like festering like yeast in your body. And then from the chest across, the heart across, you've got things like grief and sadness. That's where we store it. So imagine all those people with asthma, breast cancer, heart disease, all those things that come into the bronchitis, right? That's something to do with fear, not letting go of a sadness and grief. Is there somebody that passed away in your family and you never got to say goodbye to them? Is there somebody that passed away and you choose not to say goodbye to them? You just want to keep holding on. And some religions teach you to actually hang on to that, which is quite sad in itself. So from the heart down is fear. That's all around your bowel. And so many people have stomach and bowel disorders, like irritable bowel, leaky gut, nephritis. I mean, girls, I've had all of this. Why can I tell you this?
Yes,
it's because I get it. I've had the tonsils out. I've had the bronchitis, etc., in the chest area. I had it for years, not understanding that if I could clear some of the crap that I was hanging on to, I could release it. And then the fear was why I had the irritable bowel. And after my son was born and my lupus got worse, because when you have a child, remember, you give everything to the child. So you're left with next to nothing. You're like a rag that's wrung out. And then you're still trying to get on with your life. And so the irritable bowel was just unbelievably difficult to cope with.
Wow.
And then I had nephritis, like the kidneys, swollen kidneys. And so you've got to think, how did all this come to bear and how can I get through this? And at some point you've got to, the universe will send you a message where you can stop and learn and use your body as that temple, use your body as that clinic and say, right, I need to learn how I became unwell because I was so well. I was a representative tennis player. As I said, I was hitchhiking across Canada. I was doing 2 degrees in America in 2 years. I was doing everything, which is half the problem. And then I had to learn to stop and say, what's going on? I need to study me and learn how to get well.
So true. And Lynda, I love what you said about becoming your own health clinic because you're always getting signs and warnings. And if you don't pay attention or be alert, it's going to really magnify. And again, as you talked about the unwanted negative emotions, just for our listeners, think about the magnitude of the accumulation of emotions, negative emotions over our lifetime that we continue to hold on to. And Lynda, I'd like for you to talk a little bit more about that when we come back from our break that we have to take now. So for our listeners, stay tuned for more On our show today, turning our immune system around with our outstanding guest, Lynda Dyer. She is a certified neuro-linguistic programmer, author of many books, including Life After Lupus, Healing Your Immune System Naturally. Certified neuro-linguistic programmer, certified NLP trainer. She is indeed a transformational coach. So stay tuned for more information, education, and awareness on this outstanding show. We'll be right back.
I'm Judy Satori. I'm a spiritual channel and activator of human potential. You might have heard me speaking on the Voice of America on Dr. Jean Farish's show, Love Light, because I've been speaking about the challenges that are besetting all of us right now and how we can surrender but also keep on going. I want to invite you to join my new Facebook group that is devoted to heart-centered connection and unity. Through this Facebook group, you can also join my free access question and answer session with Spirit on the first Wednesday to Thursday of every month. Just search Ascension Community on Facebook to join the group. In this session, I answer questions and transmit energy from Spirit to give you guidance and support. Because life on planet Earth ain't easy right now, and there is so much help from above, from beings of love and light, from multidimensional realities who are actually here with us, wanting to step up and support us. I welcome you to become part of our ongoing group conversation about evolutionary change and how it's affecting us as human beings and affecting our life today. Many blessings to you. You can find out more about me and my work at www.ascensionlibrary.org. Have a wonderful day.
Best-selling Authors International news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published Magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. Or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
You've been listening to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love, and we are with our outstanding guest today, Lynda Dyer, joining us from Australia on Turning Our Immune System Around. Lynda is the #1 international best-selling author of many books, including Life After Lupus, Healing Your Immune System Naturally. And Lynda, in our last segment, we talked about how we make ourselves unwell and holding on to negative emotions. Just take it from here and tell us more about, what we can do to enhance our own well-being and deal with these negative emotions.
Mm-hmm. I think understanding the emotional well-being of who we are, that we've got a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and many of us are working from the conscious mind, and the conscious mind is 4% of us. So when it first came out, and Bob Proctor actually started drawing stick people and saying people don't understand how to change their mind and change their emotions because they don't have a picture of it, and half the population are visual. So he drew this picture of a stick person, and he drew basically it was 50-50. Well, in the meantime, NLP came along and said it was 10 and 90. And then Professor Snyder from the Sydney University, he said, I think it's 4% in the conscious mind and 96% in the subconscious mind. So 4% is where you get like your ego and your that says to you, go do that, go do that, go do that. It's like the original personal development talks that we used to go to, and they'd say, you can do it, just go get it, reach that goal. But there was no understanding of the process of talking to yourself, of talking to your subconscious mind to ask yourself, is that something I would love to do? Because if it's not something you would love to do, then it's stress.
Yes.
If we're going to work in a job that we hate just to come home and pay bills, that's not happy.
Yes.
It's crazy. Look, we all did it. I mean, yes. I did it. I worked 2 jobs because I wanted this house. I had a picture of a house that I wanted with a swimming pool, and I wanted, my son, and I wanted this to happen and that to happen. And so I was running around working 2 jobs, but I loved what I did. That was the difference. I still love what I do. I'm still very active, and I love what I do. And then I say, would I like to do that? Yes, no. That's the key. Now, some of you out there are going, oh, hoo-ha, but I've got to earn money. Yes, you may have to do that. Well, how about finding something that where you can earn good money and love what you do? Take the time to really love getting up in the morning and going to wherever that work is, or starting your own business from home, because that's what it took for me to do, and be able to be there when my son came. Still run an activities department program for people around Australia in fitness and health. So that's how I learned so much more about me getting well and was able to transfer that on to him. I think what happens is when we get a bit of anger, we put it into our subconscious mind. So you've got to remember the first 7 years of your life, all you had was a subconscious mind. You didn't have the ability to question anybody. So all the negativity, all the stuff like you can't do that, you're not good enough, that's all gone in. And then after a while, because it's a repeated piece of information coming from different sources, maybe school, maybe grandma, maybe parents, maybe whatever, you start to believe it. Well, for 14 years, you just believed what everybody gave you. As I said, it's like a peer pressure going bang, bang, bang. What we want to do now is we want to start to question that, because we can't put anything new into that subconscious mind until we're prepared to take something out. So that's where this professional help is really good for you, so you can clear what Bob Proctor would call the X's, things from the past that you no longer require, things that are changing your body and turning your body into an unwell state. Your emotions are stored in that subconscious mind in a gestalt. So that's called a pattern. When I was teaching in England, I had a German student, and she told me that a gestalt means pattern. So if you can imagine, all your anger is in one pattern, all your fear is in one pattern, all your, grief and sadness are in one pattern, in a long line. And that's what makes it easier for us as coaches to work with you so that we can get into that pattern and take you back to the very first event and help you clear that. Let it go.
Yes.
Just let it go. Having that choice that today I need to let it go. I mean, I'm coaching people by Zoom all over the world. I just finished coaching a client yesterday, and I was so ecstatic at the end of it because he got it.
Yes.
In the very last half hour, he got it, and he did a values change, and it was just like aha moment that he will never forget, and I won't either. So when people get it and the lightness that comes into your body after it, emotions, remember, negative emotions are acidic, which means they're heavy. So imagine releasing them. Now, remember, I had to learn this gradually. I had to learn, like, what the,
Yes.
Nobody taught. I wish this stuff was taught in schools. I'd love to be teaching this in the school to the higher school certificate people, the people in the higher classes who would like to understand their body even more than they do today. Learning about nutrition, but learning about the emotional state and letting go of some of the emotions and how it's easy to do that. One way to do that is through anchoring. Now, anchoring is I did this with Jean, believe it or not, and a whole lot of other people at a convention in Manzanillo for a book for authors. And they had
fantastic.
so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So you've just got to stand up in a place. It can be in your kitchen, in your lounge room, out in the garden, and you've got to close your eyes and think of, and then I'm going to give you some words that might resonate with you, like a time where you were confident. Like, just write some of these down and then you can pick out the ones that suit you. It's not what I want for you, it's what you want for you. Remember that. To get stability and to get balance back, we need to choose words that suit you. A time where you maybe fell down laughing. You may not know it consciously, remember, but if you close your eyes and go into your subconscious, it might take you right back to when you were 2. It might take you back to when you were 6, and you can see yourself falling down laughing. A time where you were full of love. You just felt so loved at that time. Just write these down, and then I want you to go into them one at a time. Pick out the words that suit you. A time where you were energized. A time where you had a ton of energy. A time where you felt complete. A time where you ate the frog. Now, that's a Brian Tracy statement, which means you got up, you did the hard thing first, you ate the frog, and you got on with your day. How great is that, to be able to make that phone call you always wanted to make that you were scared about, and it wasn't scary at all when you did it, and then get on with your day. A time where you were confidently calm. This is one I made up myself because I just love it. In other words, when I'm balanced, I'm not hyper. I'm not running around happy, 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 BB. I'm confidently calm. Like, I'm running a massive charity this Friday, and I'm confidently calm that the work we have done up until now and up until that day will all come together, and that those people will have an amazing night, and that people who balance and reciprocate from that will be the charity. And I'll be really happy to see that. But you've got to do the work. Yes, believe, act. Acting, yeah, and then believing in that action, deciding, and then believing and acting, they all rotate. And the more you act, the more you start to believe that it can come off. The more you believe it can come off, the more you start acting on it. And you attract other people to come in and help you. And then, but the key is expecting. I'm expecting a great result on Friday night. I'm absolutely expecting one, because that's the key that will bring that result to you and ultimately to the people where we do the work over in Vietnam. So that's what I'm saying. Decide, believe, act, and expect is the 4 things. And then anchor some positive things on one of your knuckles to help you. So, for example, the confidence, the confidently calm. So what you do is you pick out one. Let's pick out confidence. And you close your eyes and you go back in time and you think of a time where you felt so confident. See what you see, hear what you hear, and feel the feeling of when you were so confident. And you just allow that to happen. And then when it comes up in your body, you touch, you use your index finger on your right hand to touch the first knuckle on your left hand. Now you're anchoring that feeling of confidence on your knuckle. And you can feel it. And you've got a smile on your face and you can feel that confidence. And the minute it starts to come away, you take your finger off. Now this is called stacking an anchor. So then you might pick out the one that says, a time when I was happy. Close your eyes, go back into your subconscious mind. Where is there a time where I was totally happy? See what I see, feel what I feel, and hear what I hear when I felt really happy. And when it comes to you, anchor it. So you're stacking on the same knuckle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 5 beautiful positives. Now, why would you do that? Because one day when you're not feeling very good, you can press that anchor and I tell you what, you will be shocked at how powerful it is.
Yes.
All of a sudden you're feeling confident, you're feeling happy, you're feeling full of grace, you're feeling balanced, you're feeling everything that you put on there. And then it's up to you to top it up. So next time when you're in a group of people and everyone's laughing and you think, gosh, this is a great time, anchor it. Press your knuckle. Anchor that moment. Top up your anchor. So that's just one little way that you can, right there, help yourself. Help yourself.
Yes. This is a fantastic exercise. And Lynda, how can people connect with you to learn more, and tell us about your book and how people can access it?
Yeah, well, it is on Amazon, and however, I've also got the hard copies here. If they want to email me, it's Lynda with a Y, so it's Lynda at Lynda Dyer DYER.com. If they want to email me and they want to order the book, I can send them a hard copy. I've designed the book to meet everybody's way that they learn. I've written the whole book in an NLP fashion. So the first 3 chapters are on why. Why did we get sick? The next 3 chapters are on how. For you people that need to know how, you're going to learn how. You're going to learn about inflammation. You're going to learn about getting through that. You're going to learn about acidity and all that sort of stuff. And then the 3rd chapter is about, well, how can we get better? And then I'm going to show you how you can heal yourself. And then the last 3 chapters are about, what about mindset? What about if you were to stop and change your mindset right here, right now, today, and say, I'm going to do something towards me getting better and feeling better about who I am. Now, I'm not saying you go out and you do 10 things. I'm saying you do 2 things a month. That's it.
Right.
Right? Just 2 things. So you might take some minerals.
Okay. Well, Lynda, we're getting ready to close out, and I would recommend your book to our listeners. And Lynda's motto is, you can make it happen. So final thoughts for closeout. We're getting ready to close out. Lynda, any comments?
Absolutely. The universe, I got a saying once and it drives my behavior. It's from Joel Bauer. And he said, God's gift to you is more talent and ability than you can ever use in your lifetime. Your gift back to this universe is to use as much of that talent and ability as you can in your lifetime. What are we doing? If we're unwell, what are we doing? How can we function? The universe thinks you're amazing and you're perfect. Go be perfect.
All right. That is fantastic. And Lynda, thank you for being on our show today. And I'd like to just share, Lynda, we have 3 episodes here. The joy of giving back, turning our immune system around, and healing your immune system for wellness. So we invite listeners to listen to all 3 of those empowering series with Lynda Dyer. And definitely listen back to Lynda's exercise on anchoring. And that is so important for our own well-being. So, Lynda, we thank you so much for being here today, and much gratitude to the Voice America team for making this show a reality and for shining their love light around the world. This is Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you from Voice America. And until we meet again, remember, an empowered self is a loving self, and keep your love light shining. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to Love Light this week. Be sure to join Dr. Jean Marie Farish again for another program next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a wonderful week filled with love, self-worth, and better connections.